Hi, and welcome to Power Play Season 2. I really can't believe we're here already. It's been an interesting time to take a vacation, but honestly, I could not possibly be happier to be going back to Port Ruby with these amazing people. Let's introduce our cast here. We have B. Zelda, who plays Ules Galley. Hi, B. Welcome back.
Yeah.
And we have Omar Najam, who plays Vion Vigor.
Hello, everybody.
We have Sam DeLove, of course, who plays Cadrax. Hi, Sam. And you're probably wondering why did they replace Caitlin with this mysterious bald woman? If you look closely, you will see that is in fact Caitlin Bruder, our own Benny Beckett there.
Benny still has hair though; it's okay.
Benny still has hair, right? Caitlin gave hers up for charity.
Yes.
Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back to you, the audience. Thank you so much for coming to hang with us again. And I want to send a big thanks to Jake and Lauren and all of the mods and everyone who works at QueueTimes and makes this possible. Those people do so much. I could never describe it all, and we could not do what we do without them. Your subs and your bits help QueueTimes. And your donations to the tip jar help the people that you see here on the screen. We call that the Feed the Cast Fund. And to that end, we have got our usual rewards as always. And here's how they work tonight. At $50, the team gets a point of community determination. They have none right now, although their own determinations will start full for the season. And that's $50. And if we get to $150, we have the mysterious benefactor. In game, our team has a mysterious benefactor who sends them all kinds of gifts. So far, they have got, a suit of leather armor that gives +1 resistance, 3 smoke bombs that are -2 to sight-based tasks, gas-powered grappling hook gun, a metal baton, a rebreather, night vision goggles, a tracer, a set of 4 earpiece communicators, a 1989 Bard Traveler minivan. That is everything they got last season. And if we get to $150 tonight, their mysterious in-game benefactor, who is actually, we know you, the chat, can give our team a single-use rear tack dispenser for their van. Essentially, it will one-time use, dumps a bunch of tacks out behind you, and automatically pops the tires of anyone who might be following you. It is not subject to an evasion roll because it works as a surprise. So it is a surefire get somebody off your tail trick and the first upgrade to your van.
An excellent tactical asset.
Of course, the soldier would be thinking like that. That's $150. And if we get all the way tonight to $250, we have our first after credits lore drop of the season. The after credits lore drop is some sort of revealing glimpse of something going on in our universe that was previously unseen, but now we'll give you a little look at. And you can always see these tiers in chat by with the command unlocks. And if you can't help us out with donations, you can always help us out by liking, commenting on YouTube videos, and sharing our tweets and stuff. Oh my God, the art. Adventure Awaits made this incredible comic book cover. I tweeted it out today from everywhere. Please go look at the comic book cover. It's like that kind of stuff. Just it just fills the heart. And now I am incredibly proud to announce, for a limited time only, for a few weeks, we've got you can get Power Play merchandise. We got t-shirts, we got stickers that got Caitlin's amazing art on it. Those are available at the QueueTimes Teespring store, which Jake will put the link into chat for you. I got one. It's on the way. I don't have it yet. I was hoping to have it for the premiere. I will get it soon. So there is now Power Play merchandise. And let's see what else. Okay, the game we play here is called Icons. It's published by Ad Infinitum. It was created by Steve Kenson, and you can check him out on Twitter at @skenson. It's great. He just spends all day long just wailing on Donald Trump. You'll love it. The book edition's published by Green Ronin. They were sold out last time I checked, but you can also get PDFs and stuff. We play a little bit of a hack of that system. Last season, I was doing something where I was rolling a d4 and then making slight adjustments to the stats of the bad guys so that I could have a little bit more control over the outcomes, because our players are so low level. The system wasn't really designed to work with that, and I just wanted to give myself, a little more control over how things happened. Now our team's got a little more experience, a few more powers. Their stats have been padded a tiny bit, so I am now going up to the requisite d6. I've got a green one, a red one, and a blue one. I brought 3 just in case 2 are cursed. So otherwise the rest of our hack as detailed last season remains the same. And you can follow Power Play at Twitter and Instagram, and Power Play is now available as a podcast, which you can get, the Apple Store, wherever fine pods are cast. And I think that's it. Yeah, those are all the announcements. So I think we have a new opening credits, if I am right. So, Jake, take us away. Time for Power Play Season 2. Okay, I love the new intro. That's fantastic. Oh my God. Jake did that. Thank you, Jake. Here we go. So let's just do this. Previously on Power Play. Last season, we met 4 heroes. Benny Beckett, an intern at a BuzzFeed-like media operation called Chatterbox, who has the power to surround herself with an aura of flame, among other things. Cadrax, an alien warrior who came to Earth with a militaristic force called the Knights of the Blue and has the power to control harmonic resonances. Vion Vigor, a novice private detective and former celebrity author who has the power to walk through walls because he is a ghost. And Ules Galley, an amnesiac artificial intelligence from another planet who is trained to study plant life, but can also fire vampiric blasts of light from their hands for some reason. And these 4 met by what seems like chance and then teamed up and tried to capture a supervillain named Curtis Haber. Along the way, they fought some vampires and some gangsters. They helped a retired superhero break an innocent woman out of death row. And in the end, Curtis Haber actually evaded capture. But the team did recover the lost space pod that brought Ules Galley to Earth. And Vion finally got an office for his fledgling private detective agency. Meanwhile, that pod initiated a reboot in Ules that began the process of restoring the memories that they had lost. Vion's sister called him and said that a sheriff had found his car with a dead body in it. Cadrax received a visit from the son of their mentor. And Benny received information about the identity and whereabouts of her biological father. And that's where we pick up. Ules, you lay unconscious on the sidewalk behind the van. You were knocked off your feet by that electrical charge that reconnected you to your pod. And the moment that connection was made, it initiated the memory reboot, and your past started coming back to you in these flashes. You immediately remember that your people call themselves the Keepers. And your homeworld is called Spire. It is an enormous planet with oceans and mountains and plains and cities and farms and villages. You start remembering little bits of your culture, notes from songs you knew, words from poems you've heard, the rules to games that you've played. You remember other artificial intelligences, and they're not all like you. Spire has a surprisingly rich and diverse population for a world where there are thousands and thousands of copies of everything. And you glimpse a place you recognize as your school and faces that you recognize as friends, things like that. And eventually that sea of memories parts and your eyes begin to refocus on the face of Sandy Carpa, who is standing over you in the street. Ules! Ules! Hey, are you okay? You okay? What happened?
What is your name again?
I'm Sandy.
You are still Sandy. Okay, yes. I am jostled. No. I am revitalized? No. I think I am back.
You're back? I saw you like a lightning bolt like shot out of this thing and you got knocked off your feet. What do you mean you're back?
My memories, my past. And they're gonna look at their little hands and like flex their fingers, test all the joints. I have forgotten so much. Sandy, I've only been here for 2 weeks now. What? How did I get here, though?
Well, So, he kind of looks around. And actually, I think canonically, or at least what we know, is you've been here for 1 week, actually, because this is still that same Sunday night. Yep, nope, it's right, yeah. And Sandy looks around, and he, hey, what's that sound? You hear that? And you listen, and you do sort of hear this sound, a soft electronic beeping. It seems to be coming from your pod. It's very fast, like kind of almost like a Morse code sound, but much, much quicker, more complicated.
Oh, that's my ship. And I'm gonna scramble up and try to like half hug, half check it out.
Yeah, I tell you what, Ules, make an intelligence roll.
Oh, first roll of the season. What do I do with the stats? Where did they go?
Your intellect is 5.
A 9 total.
9 total? Okay, so that. All right. Ules, you start poking around at your ship to figure out what that beeping is. Meanwhile, Vion, inside, you just received a call from your sister, Amira. She said your mother had received a call from the Sandera County Sheriff's Department in Death Valley, and they had found a dead body in your car. And she said she was coming to see you to discuss it, but she didn't say when she'd come. And the moment you hang up the phone, you hear a voice behind you. Doesn't sound like she trusts you very much.
I spin around.
And sitting behind you is the sheriff, your sheriff.
Oh my gosh, Sheriff, where'd you come from?
I come and go.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Why do you think she doesn't trust you, Vion?
Well, she said that they found a body or something like that. I guess I wasn't, and I guess I'm just gonna start pacing around because this is very distressing news. I wasn't careful enough. I should have gone back. I'm gonna get found out. I don't know what's about to happen to me right now, Sheriff.
Well, I'd say this is probably going to be trouble. She's coming looking for her brother. And, you're not really her brother now, are you? You're my spirit of justice, aren't you?
Well, yet, Sheriff, definitely, absolutely, I'm committed to that, obviously. It's why I'm here, and I'm very grateful for you for bringing me, back and giving me a purpose and all. But at the same time, I am still her brother, and she is coming to talk to me, and I don't know exactly how we're going to work around that.
You have a good relationship with your sister?
I have the best relationship out of where I did. It's complicated, I guess. Didn't exactly end on the best of terms, but but more good years than bad, I guess.
Well, that was a ringing endorsement, obviously. You know, Vion, I think she's going to see right through you. And he reaches his hand out and puts it right through you and pulls it back. And then we're going to flip over to Cadrax. The younger Sonnevel glances suspiciously over at Abigail. Who's she?
Person I live with.
Oh. Can we talk privately?
I think that would be a good idea. Please excuse us for a moment, Abigail.
Yeah, I was just going to go out and do something. And she kind of grabs her coat and looks around and shakes her head and kind of pulls the door closed. As you just told her moments earlier that you were planning on moving out, and kind of left that point hanging.
We were interrupted.
So he kind of looks around the living room and says, "This is a nice place. Are you rich?"
Interesting of you to have the cultural context to make that kind of observation. How long have you been here?
Well, not long, but some things are the same pretty much everywhere you go. Call me Sunny.
I would be more than happy to do that to your retreating figure once I find out what you're doing here.
What do you know about me?
Sonnevel mentioned he had a son. Once? Twice.
God. Yeah, all right. That sounds like him. My father, he wanted me to follow in his footsteps and become a Knight of the Blue and travel the universe with him, protecting weaker species from being conquered by the Alpha Combine. I guess kind of like you. But I didn't want to make it on my name. So I joined the Knights of the Red. Whereas you Blues specialize in control, us Reds, we only do mass destruction. Control doesn't enter into it.
So what are you doing here? Step.
Well, about 5 months ago, a contact of mine in the government, one of the conductors, he told me that my father's mission had failed and that he had been killed in action here on Sol 3, or Earth, or whatever they call it. Now, the government's hesitant to make any further moves until they know what went wrong, but that's not my problem. I came here to find my father's body and bring it home. I've been checking cover IDs for everyone on the mission looking for a survivor, and lo and behold, the hospital told me that Dr. Caden D'Alto was still there on the payroll. So, and he sits back on the couch and leans back very calmly, like he kind of owns the room. And he says, "Why don't you tell me everything you know?"
Do you have your seal? I'd like to see it, please.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything. I had to steal these clothes from a drunk. Although I did take his car off him too, so, give a little, get a little. I lost some of my belongings in transit, but You gotta tell me.
Insight check. Night.
Make a intelligence roll.
Mm-hmm. 12.
12. I'm going to say that as far as you can tell, he seems to be telling the truth, and you might not have specifically, you might not be super familiar with the Knights of the Red, but you know that there are a lot of squads and divisions that have, shady militaristic purposes and that you might not know of. So it is reasonable to believe that his story is true, at least. I mean, you were my father's squire. Surely you want to see him returned, and
You really aren't your father's son, are you?
some ways.
He's still out there. He's one of them.
He survived? You're saying he's alive?
If anyone has ever been an Eversinger, it's Sonnefell.
Ever singers. Yeah, I forgot. Knights in the Blue and your Ever Singers. There are no Ever Singers, Cadrax. No, nobody's note sounds forever. That's the whole honor in being a soldier, is that you're going to be asked to risk it all for something someday, and you won't come back.
He will.
Are you going to help me or not? I mean, hey, if he's an Eversinger, then shouldn't we find him?
I'll help you.
All right. So start off by telling me everything you know about what happened that day.
Your father asked me to cover the hospital as a logistics point. It seemed important after we made our move. I think he wanted to keep me safe. I don't think he trusted me yet. And so I wasn't there when they disappeared. So I can't help you very much. So I guess we're done.
Nah, we're just starting. And on that, we'll move along to Benny Beckett.
Oh boy.
Benny, Dino
Yeah.
Mink, your boss at Chatterbox, who has taken a enthusiastic personal interest in helping you figure out your powers, held out a manila envelope which he said contained the name of your biological father and his address, which just happened to be in Port Ruby. And he said, "Happy birthday, Benny."
What?
Happy birthday. Look,
Yeah,
Hey.
I think she just starts walking like around,
Hey.
I think she walks just back and forth for a second, and then looks back at him like.
and he's just like, "Hey, I know this is kind of nuts, but take it from a reporter."
Kind of.
Ish. You always have to dig up the past if you're going to figure out where the story is really headed. You think about it. Let me know what happens. And he turns around and he closes the door behind him.
I think Buddy just yells for a second. I'm like, does like a couple laps around the living room. Like, where did he just leave it on like the coffee table?
Yeah, let's say he put it down on the table as he walked out.
I think she stands in front of it with her arms crossed and like stares at it for probably a good like 2 or 3 minutes. And then is gonna pick it up and take it back to her room, and she's gonna put it in a drawer and she's gonna shut it.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. I've been waiting 5 weeks to see if you were going to open that. Okay. Okay.
She's not ready to handle that right now.
I'm making notes.
Yeah.
Oh, and I am also happy to report that apparently, thanks to the awesome people in chat, you now have a point of community determination. Thank you so much, everybody. If we get to our next tier at $150, the team gets a one-time rear tack drop for their car, like drops tacks on the road behind them to get rid of people following them, kind of thing. James Bond kind of stuff. And yeah, Benny does not open the envelope.
No.
So what I'm going to say is over the next 3 weeks, Ules, you start analyzing that beeping, and it is very slow progress. Vion, you haven't heard from Amira, but in the meantime, you've actually been getting a few small clients giving you, nothing spectacular, legitimate cases though. That article, that was about you in the paper was only a month ago, and it's still getting you some interest. Cadrax, Sunny has been living on your couch with you and with Abigail, and while you have been working during the days and doing other stuff, he has been continuing to search for survivors of the attack on the Knights of the Blue, going down that list that led him to you. And Benny, can I ask you a question? In those 3 weeks, do you open it, or have you still not opened it 3 weeks later?
I think she takes it out of the drawer like daily and like puts it on her like on top of her laptop before she has like work to do, and like contemplates and like just angrily stares at it. I think on a couple of occasions she considers burning it. Like doesn't this whole thing makes her so mad. Like she didn't ask him to do that. She didn't want to know that information, but also she thinks he has a point. And that makes her more mad to agree with Dino a little bit. I think after like a week or two, she maybe like, if the crew is all still like meeting up regularly, maybe she starts bringing it with her, but she still hasn't opened it. Because I think if she thinks if she's going to open it, it's going to be with these guys. But I don't think she's even... I don't know. I think everyone's had stuff going on. I don't know if she's brought it up yet, or I don't think she's figured out a way to be like, hey, this is a really weird thing that happened to me. I know you're all going through your own stuff, but like, So I think she's like taken to carrying it around with her, like in her bag or whatever, but I don't think she's opened it yet.
Okay. And it's interesting that you bring that up too, because now I want to sort of do something else where other than those storylines, which I just let you know what is going on with during those 3 weeks, I want to know what y'all are doing during those 3 weeks. Are you hanging out together? Are you hanging out apart? Are you decorating Vion's office? Are you, touring local arboretums, with Ules? What have you been doing with all the other time?
To start, I think Ules, right after they have that shock and all the memories kind of start sparking and flooding through. After hugging their ship and being like, okay, you're not going to explode, they turn to Sally, I will be right back. And I assume Vion is like up in his office, like in the building.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so they run up all the stairs. I hope you're not on like the 20th floor. I don't know.
Nah, I think we have you up one flight is what we had. So
okay, perfect. So they're not out of breath or anything, and they burst in. Vion,
Hey,
I
Les.
went to school, and I was the smartest student.
Is this is this like a password thing?
No. I guess I should offer context. I remember my past. I was smart. I am smart.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I don't have to even know your past to know that. That's fantastic, Ules. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was in a very good school. I've only ever pulled one prank, and I was just given a light. Don't do that again. But I just really had to share that. Would you like to listen to my prank?
Yeah, I was just about to ask. What did you get up to?
I didn't actually think of anything. Well, Fade to Black, as Ules describes, the most tame of pranks, where, you know, like, somebody was cutting their lawn in the morning, and Ules goes afterwards, like it was like their principal, and they cut the grass extra short, like by an inch, and whew, the trouble.
You mad lad.
Yeah, you really got off light on that one, Ules. That's a real that's you caused a little bit of havoc there.
I know.
And Ules, you sit down and start filling Vion in on some of your school day hijinks. What about you, Benny? What are you doing in these 3 weeks? You're working. You're looking at your envelope from time to time, and what else comes up?
Okay.
Oh,
so
by the way, I think we have unlocked your tack dispenser.
yes.
Wow, thank you so much, everybody. That happened real fast. So yeah, we called that. What did we call that? We called that a single-use rear tack dispenser for the van. And we're going to assume that at some point, Vion, during these 3 weeks, you go out and you notice that some modifications have been made to the van, and you figure out that the van now has this kind of booby trap on the back for you.
I feel like anytime that sort of thing happens or there's a package, at this point now, Vion kind of looks around and just to cover bases goes like, thank you.
So all we got left is the after credits lure drop. Thank you so much, everybody. So yeah, Benny.
So yes, she has to go to work and stuff, and if Dino is asking questions, she's pointedly ignoring them and kind of giving them like, I'm getting to it. Like that's her answer anytime he tries to bring it up. She hasn't made anything like for herself in a while, so she probably does a couple of like late night excursions. If people would like to join her on those, she probably only goes out for like an hour and tries to take pictures and takes weird videos and stuff. And then she definitely 100% wants to take Ules and Dr. Caden D'Alto to both a either an arboretum or like a conservatory probably, and then either whatever, I don't know. She wants to do fun things with her friends who are new to Earth.
All right, let's do a shopping trip, sort of. You know, it's like we'll start at the Arboretum. We will say the day today is Monday, November 9th, 2020. 3 weeks after the season finale took place, and we'll say the morning news comes on. You all catch Stella Combs on PR3. Who says, Mayor Jan Lindell's office has announced that Perfecto technicians are well ahead of schedule in replacing the city's aging computer system with their own cutting-edge system known as Orson. The system is expected to drastically increase the efficiency of services while saving the city hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Meanwhile, oil giant Coralon has found itself hauled into court by environmentalists over proposed offshore drilling initiatives supported by the mayor's office. It is unknown how long the legal action will delay the project, which was expected to create hundreds of local jobs. Finally, industrialist Jonathan Fripp has announced his intention to buy the Port Ruby Ogres. The professional football organization, which first came to town in 1928, hasn't won a championship in 27 years. I'm Stella Combs for PR3. And that's the morning news. And then you are off to the Arboretum. Is everybody going? Is this like a group outing?
If everybody wants to, I would assume so, yeah.
Cool.
Excellent opportunity to socialize the dog.
Yes.
Oh, the dog. Okay, wait a minute. It's
Yes.
been 3 weeks, Cadrax. Does your dog have a name?
Well, they haven't told me a name yet. I'm still. It's disrespectful to presume someone else's name or attribute a name to them without permission. I myself, like all members of the Star Choir, was nameless until I had the capacity to choose one for myself. Why should I do anything different with this dog?
You got a nickname for the dog?
Yeah.
I mean, not like, it's not their name, but it's like sort of like a fun, literally
the
a pet
dog.
name. Okay,
The
well,
dog. It is a title.
Have you not called this dog the dog before?
I
All
don't-
for 3 weeks.
oh, you have Ules? Okay. I'll just catch up real quick. Hi, the dog.
Hi,
Would you like to greet?
Can the dog shake? And I'd like to hold out my hand to shake the dog's paw.
And it like sniffs at your hand and then just sort of walks back, kind of backs up to Cadrax.
Okay.
We'll work on that one.
And you're having this conversation as you walk into, let's say, the Port Ruby Arboretum. And the Port Ruby Arboretum is located in Greenacre Park, which is sort of Avalon's Central Park, a huge stretch of land just located right in the middle of Avalon. That's got, anything you might find in New York Central Park, trails and great lawns and little theaters and shops and stuff like that. So Ules, the Port Ruby Arboretum is located in the corner of the park, and you and your friends come in, and you can see right off the bat, that this place is huge, and it is just more plants, more flowers than you have ever seen. Hundreds of varieties, trees, shrubs, wildflowers, ferns, different grasses, and they're planted in designs that like harmonize with the park's natural landscape, We'll say you take one of those tours where it's got like one of those tour guides who brings you around explaining what they all are, and he's got a corny joke for the name of every flower or tree or something like that. There's a pool of water that's got aquatic plants that live in it and sort of purify the water just by living in it. And there's a trail that goes through old growth forests and have trees that are older than the American Revolution growing in them and things like that. And is there any particular kind of tree or thing or you might want to see in all this, or are you just taking it all in?
I want to find a willow tree for them. Like very badly want to find a willow tree.
Yeah, and we'll say the tour guide directs you towards where you can find those, and he sends you up an old trail. Say that the park, just like sort of like the New York Arboretum, it's like sort of built to encompass areas that contain like old Native American trails that are still built into the forests and things like that. And you get to walk through them and sort of see all the different trees that are planted along them and the leaves and it's November, so it's probably like really nice in there as everything's starting to turn colors, and then it leads you to what they call the Willow Grove, where you find willows.
These are beautiful. Oh, wow. A weeping willow, a white willow, a Salix caprea? Oh my goodness. I need to touch all of these. Turns to the tour guide. Is the tour guide person still here?
We'll say
sent us on our way.
we'll say that there's a park employee nearby. Can I help you?
May I have a branch of the tree, please?
And he kind of looks you up and down. Do you mind if I ask, why are you dressed like that? Is that like a motorcycle suit or something? What's with the
I
helmet?
do not possess a motorcycle.
Huh.
Thank you for
All right.
asking.
Okay, sorry, I was a little distracted there. What was it you want to know?
A tree piece. I I've been collecting most of the ones that are on the ground, but it points to a bundle. I now have a bundle of just like twigs and sticks in my arms. I would like one of those.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And he kind of like looks around and he's like, something might be arranged. And he sticks his hand out to you, if you know what I mean.
I will give you a leaf. It's from an oak tree. It's very well. It's a little reddish. It should be dead at this time of year, but I don't know.
Well, this is not the kind of green I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Eh? Wink, wink. Nod,
Perhaps the
nod.
ivy would be better, Ules.
Pardon?
Perhaps the ivy would be more suitable.
Yes. Hold on. Got it. Ivy.
Why don't you just take what you need and go? I'm gonna be over somewhere else. And
before you disappear, do you mind really quick? First of all, hi, I'm Vion. What's your name?
My name is Martin.
Martin, great. Are you part of, or is there some sort of docent program here in the gardens and in the park?
I'm sorry. What kind of program? I didn't catch that.
A docent, like someone who kind of goes around, kind of talks about, the trees and the plants. Maybe even someone who tends to them a little bit.
Well, they have a special staff who actually take care of the plants, but I do give tours on the afternoon shift. But I just read what they tell me. Why? What are you looking for?
Oh, our friend here, Ules, is really passionate about plant life, and I was just wondering if you had any workshops or programs or anything that they could maybe sign up for or attend or anything like that.
I mean, we do have a workshop in rock gardens.
Are you interested in rock gardens, Ules?
No.
And just so you know, it's not like a garden that grows rocks.
Oh.
Like there is still like plant life involved.
This planet also has plants that survive on stone?
No, it's not that kind of. You know what? Yes. The class changes every few months from what the workshop is, but right now, yeah, it's the rock garden workshop. Otherwise, we give the regular tour here every day, same time.
Every day?
Well, every day we're open, which is 3 days a week with the budget cuts. But yeah, so
I will be back for those 3 days. I have many more tree samples to collect.
I look forward to it.
Thank you, Martin.
And he sort of just turns around and kind of, trudges away in a huff. Yeah, and you are alone with the willows.
I thought you would like them because we've made reference to them a couple times, but also, I mean, they kind of look like
will-o-wisp. It's not nonsense words.
Well, not the same thing, but because we've said willow, but also like and she'll kind of like gesture to the nodes on the top of your head and be like, they kind of reminded me of them. I thought you might like it.
Those are beautiful. We do not have any of these where I'm from. All of our trees are very singular. They're often like your electricity poles, actually. I like the trees here. They're so large and floopy and diverse.
You recall your botanical circumstances.
Pardon?
The trees, where you are from.
Yes! I had a lot of trees where I was from. Again, they were all pole-like. They're nowhere near as beautiful as they are here.
When did you access this knowledge of yourself?
Oh,
and the trees of your homeworld?
Yes! Oh, it's been 3 weeks now. I've not stopped talking to Vion about all of my education. But Cadrax, I remember mostly everything. I remember being a student. A lot of my memories have to do with my younger body before I was upgraded.
As many memories do.
Yes. Oh, you understand entirely.
Yes.
I could tell you about my educational system. I was an honor student. I was the smartest. I was always talking in front of the class, as I was told to.
Are the smartest of your species considered the most honorable?
Yes. Intelligence is
hence the
greatly
name, I
valued.
understand.
Yes. The concern is at times, because our bodies are all recycled parts, is sometimes the sentience can wear down a little bit, but not for me. 100% on everything I do.
100% is an excellent score. You must be incredibly proud.
Very
You also
proud.
gotta hear about this prank too that Ules pulled.
Grass is terrible on my planet. You must tend to it at all times. Nobody likes it, except for my principal. They were a grass enthusiast.
That seems remarkably similar to this planet.
You have so much grass here. It's awful. It doesn't sustain a whole lot. It's lovely to look at, and you can even sample some of it, but the grass that I've stepped on most of my time here is not edible.
The dog has found similar findings. Extensive sampling of the grass, but
yes,
has not seemed to take to it, has rejected it at every opportunity after sampling.
And you look over and the dog is just like kind of sniffing the edge of the grass.
If you have any further findings, please do report. Pat, pat. Scritch, scritch.
I'll have to have a conversation with your dog, with the dog. They have some thoughts on grass too, it seems. We might share our feelings.
I'm still attempting to establish communications. I think ultimately it will be possibly more complicated than it is with humans, considering the additional canon sophistication by comparison.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's usually, I guess I would say always, most of the time, a language barrier between, people and dogs. So, I mean, you keep trying though. I'd be cool to hear what a dog thought.
Yeah, if you crack that, Doc, that'll be pretty big.
That would be incredibly painful to the dog. I would never dream of it.
No, I meant like if you can break the language barrier, that would be quite impressive.
Well, I have noticed that we at least communicate on some similar frequencies. I'd like to do a hypersonic dog noise.
Oh,
To get the head tilt.
yeah. Yeah. Won't even make you roll for it. The dog, just all of a sudden roll.
Yeah.
Quite so.
I mean, it's pretty common to find ways to, have a level of understanding.
The
Sometimes you
frequencies of your communication are, well, in terms of frequency by number, quite high, but frequency by communication quite low.
Yes.
I haven't really noticed you to include much informational data in the upper frequencies at all.
Well, we can't really hear it, so.
Yeah.
What?
The dog rolls over onto its back and kind of shows its belly to you.
Ah, yes. This
Wait,
at least
dog
is
belly.
perfectly clear.
Belly scratches. I mean, if I'm remembering correctly, sometimes when you're younger, you can hear higher, and then when you get older, you lose that ability to hear higher.
That sounds like a downgrade.
Yeah.
Yep. And it feels that way too.
Well, I suppose you do have very delicate cochlear cells. It's understandable. And, of course, without a voice, how could you produce lower frequency tones? But you do very well, considering.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
Actually, while I have this opportunity to talk to people fluent in human culture, perhaps you could help me with the conundrum I've been having for the past few weeks.
Uh-huh.
Of course.
Can we sit under the willow tree and talk?
Yeah, sure.
I would
That's
like
a great
to do that
idea,
for
Les.
thanks. Thank you.
In real
I
life,
take
I have
out
a
the
willow
lunch
tree.
that I've
Willow
packed.
tree.
The dog walks over with you, and it sits down, kind of right next to Ules, and sort of starts licking at the side of your face.
I let them. This is communication, right?
Yes.
Or it wants to eat you, one or the other. But
Yeah, I'm showing off my sticks. Like, this is from an elm tree.
There's a stick on the ground. There is a phenomenon called leasing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've attempted to engage and interface with this practice
Uh-huh.
and the agents thereof, and for some reason it has been unsuccessful.
Yeah. Well, Benny, I don't know about you. The trick that I usually use is, when I find a good place, I kind of go in prepared with, paperwork and, first and last month's rent at the ready. And then I kind of say, listen, you're going to give this to me because otherwise you're going to have to sit around and wait all day. And, you can keep coming back and showing this place off, or I can just take it off your hands.
I appreciate the tip. I will endeavor to do that. Thank you.
I found my place on the equivalent of Port Ruby Craigslist, and they just added me to the lease.
we'll call it Greg's List. Like
Craigslist. I found my place on Craigslist.
Yeah, you can also just look for like desperate people.
It doesn't always work out. Sometimes you gotta be careful with those. Mine's pretty great because my roommates ignore me for the most part.
And this is a desirable trait in roommates.
For me, yeah.
In the city, definitely.
That's a shame. Mine was very nice.
Yeah, why'd you move out, Doc? Or, you're in the process of, I guess, looking for a new place.
Well, you heard that the mafioso man was familiar with her movements. I thought it best to withdraw attention from her, particularly if we were going to continue. I don't really have a word for what we were doing, nor a sense of whether we are going to continue doing it now. We haven't in a while, and the acute events seemed to have passed, and I understood, but are we? Still?
Only thing you can really bet on is trouble popping up, so I figure if that's what we're in the business of doing, all we gotta do is wait.
I still think of us as a team, if that's okay.
Team.
You know what? Since we're here at the Arboretum, I kind of want to show. I know right around the corner there might be something that might be a little interesting as well. It won't be as engaging and directly entertaining as I think a lot of the plant life. But if you want to get a quick dose of human culture, it's a good place to start. Because I have a feeling, Rick, that there's an art museum right around the corner. If you exit in the correct direction, right? And
it's funny you should say that, because there is nearby. Are you looking for? Yeah, you want like an art museum? Sure. We will say the Port Ruby Museum of. Let's just make it the Port Ruby Museum of Art, so that it's not. So
if it was modern art, that would have been a real. Vion would have walked into a real
PR MoMA, yeah, totally a thing. Separate museum. This is, I think, probably more like the Metropolitan.
Yeah, one step at a time,
Or we have like a Rubenheim, and then like.
I was this close to putting you in modern art, but let's say the Port Ruby Museum of Art, the equivalent of the Met. is just there off, let's say, the north east corner of the park, and you head up there, and it's today's a Monday. It's not a super busy day because you're there kind of in the afternoon, but there's a little bit of a crowd. Ules, you draw a few looks, of course, as always, everywhere you go.
A bag of sticks as well.
Yeah.
And now you have a bag of sticks.
And a dog.
And a dog. Yeah, that's right. You have a dog, and you come up the steps, and it's a really impressive looking building, kind of built in the old style, columns and stuff, and it's got these wide, flat stone steps and these beautiful kind of sculptures of, let's say, what is a good thing to have a sculpture of?
Michelangelo? Is that the nude dude?
Sure, they got some.
David. They've got a David up there.
I don't know.
Well, I love the idea of a sculpturalist actually doing a sculpture of Michelangelo.
Oh my
because it, like, actually really fits as like an art system that possibly like kind of modernist thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fan art
absolutely.
of
that
your
is-
favorite fan artist.
Yep, 100%. There are like sculptures of the famous artists that whose work is in the museum, and there are a bunch of them sort of surrounding this area in front, this kind of courtyard-ish area, and there are a couple of museum guards, but there's not you can just walk in and out.
Yeah, I like coming here because it, with everything going on and everything we went through, it's always nice to remember, not just where we kind of come from, but also what we're saving. Obviously this existing art, but the idea is that, for every person you save, who knows, maybe something they make ends up in here. So, look around. We can't take anything. That's, I think, like the main rule, but
Okay.
any-
Stuff either. Also good to know.
pardon?
We can't touch stuff either. Just
Yeah.
for our friends.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, you can't touch any pieces, but like wherever you see a bench, you can sit down and kind of look and ponder and think about it. Also, if you don't like it, that's also fine. I think that's one thing they don't really tell you in museums. If it doesn't speak to you, that's also okay.
I take a seat at the bench. I naturally invite the dog up beside me, and I ponder and wait for the sculpture to speak to me.
I will sit down with you.
The dog is sniffing at the sculpture.
What do you think so far?
I'm waiting.
Interesting. What you waiting for?
You said it would. Speak to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I meant like on a sort of deeper level. Like you would look at the form and you would kind of think about, it's interesting,
Benny's gonna sit down next to Cadrax and be like, do you remember on the subway the violin?
Yes, I'm waiting for that.
Like
And
the-
I'm gonna just set off a very gentle low, resonate, like go for the resonant frequency of the sculptural material a little bit.
Okay. And you do, and when you do, you kind of set off the resonant frequency of the sculptural material, and suddenly you hear, "Hello and welcome to the Port Ruby Museum of Art. I am Michelangelo, and inside you can find my works on the 5th floor." And you look down and see that there's like a little speaker, like kind of attached into the corner of it.
This is what I was waiting for. Very informative.
It is very different than ours, but I mean, well, I suppose this is what we came here for then. Well done. Good art.
Yeah. Yeah. Just so you know, they don't all do that.
Oh.
Well, I imagine they say different things, yes?
Mhm.
No. I think it's safer to say more often than not, they don't.
And right behind you, a sculpture all of a sudden goes, "I am Leonardo da Vinci. Welcome to the museum."
This is new. I did not expect this to happen.
Maybe we could try some paintings.
Yeah, let's try some paint. Let's go inside. Let's try some paintings. Let's do some. Yeah, some maybe a little bit more visual, less
And
auditory.
paint as well.
What is well?
Oh, we're going to look at paintings, but can we paint?
Oh, that's a good.
Sometimes there's interactive spots.
Let's go
Okay.
ask. Yeah, let's go ask like an information desk or something.
Oh, that sounds like my favorite kind of desk.
Sure, you head on into the museum, and there, sort of the guards kind of eye you a little bit with the dog, but nobody says anything. And actually, I should have asked: is your dog on a leash? No. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. That is the
so-
done and correct thing, from what I understand, for the purpose of safety.
Okay.
And because the dog has, through body language, acceded to this and walks without tension, we understand that this is a consensual endeavor.
Yeah, so you get a look from the guard, but he doesn't say anything. And as long as you got the dog on a leash, and you go right up to the information desk, where there is, a woman behind the desk wearing a museum uniform, and her name is Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. How's it going?
It's going quite well. Welcome to the Port Ruby Museum of Art. How may I help you?
We were wondering if you had any interactive activities today by any chance? See some art, make some art.
Oh, absolutely. Right now, for a limited time only, we have an exhibit where you can go into that hall down there and use our digital wand to draw whatever you want, and it will be projected around the museum in random spots for people to see.
Great, Jamie. You
I
great.
mean, on the screens, and she points up, and there are like these, kind of LCD screens in the wall and stuff, and LED screens. You know what I mean?
Does that sound good to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Curious.
Caitlin also really wants to do that.
Yeah, and she just points towards a hall there, and you see, a room that's leads out, and I'll say you head that way since you don't want to go.
Yeah. You know what? I've got. I'm gonna hang back for a second and ask Jamie a question.
Okay.
Hey, Jamie, one more quick question. It is kind of a silly one. I know this is kind of a little bit off the book, but you know how sometimes in different buildings and museums, there's like a cool dome where you can there's like a cool echo, and it's kind of like a secret thing that people you stand in this spot and you can do fun stuff with sound because of the architecture. Does there happen to be anything like that? Nothing that was consciously made, I guess, but just like a cool sound space. Does that make sense?
Well, there is an atrium that has a large dome that's, I don't know, I guess it's kind of echoey.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'll do. One of my friends is just really into cool sounds, so I thought that if there was
You can find it on this map right here, and she hands you like a...
Perfect. Well, thank you. Shoot. All right. Thank you, Jamie. I want to catch up with the group.
And,
while that was happening, Cadrax drifts over toward Ules for a moment. What's the art like on your planet?
We are not fond of art. It's disappointing, truly, but we only observe what can be absorbed, and art is not definable.
It
Do you
is one of
have
its
art?
distinguishing features.
Yeah, I'm learning to appreciate it. Sometimes Sally and I will do some crayons in the morning. Over coffee.
You'll have to show me what a crayon is. I'm curious.
They're wonderful, and they're made out of wax and slightly consumable.
Huh. I appreciate the utility that humans think of with multi-purpose objects.
Right? I'm appreciating it a lot.
I know that when I endeavored to do anything constructive with my eating materials, I was dissuaded. So now I will have to speak to Abigail.
Ah. But art. Does your planet possess art?
Every piece speaks to you.
That sounds wonderful.
And then Vion
Cadrax
catches
just...
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. We're going to do more. Sorry.
No. Just Cadrax sort of stops for a moment. So I think that's how Vion can catch up. It's just that little bit of slow in a reverie.
Perfect.
Hey, Doc, if you want to go, do the painting thing, by all means. But I think there's a room that you might be interested in if you want to go.
Yes. I accede to your greater cultural knowledge in showing us this place.
Okay, great. This is a little less cultural, a little bit more fun, but yeah. So I guess we'll split up and we'll just meet back up at the information desk in a little bit. Does that work for everybody?
Sounds good to me.
Our timepiece is synchronized.
Benny, our phones are probably
Should be good.
right?
Yeah.
Excellent. We will rendezvous at the information desk.
Okay, so who's going where? Vion and Ules.
I think
And
Dion's
then-
showing Cadrax the atrium.
Oh, Vion's taking Cadrax to the atrium. Okay. Okay. So let's start with Ules and Benny. You head down to the art exhibit. And when you get there, it looks like, there are, gates for people to stand and wait in line. But there's not really much of a line right now because it's kind of early in the day on a Monday. And the hall is sort of darkened. And what there are is like along the wall, there are these kind of like booths that have like a little screen on them. And there's like a wand that's connected to the booth. And, it's like drawn on your phone or something like that. There's like a little thing where you can choose the colors and the thickness of the line you're using. A couple of the booths are filled with people, but there are a couple of vacancies too.
What are you going to draw, Benny?
Oh, I guess I hadn't thought that far. We can figure it out, I guess. Do you have an idea?
The willow tree.
That's perfect. Are they like separate booths or can we like sit together?
Well, let's say you can stand side by side at the very minimum. Sure.
Cool.
Let's make this a collaborative effort. Would you like to do the colors and I will do the lines?
I would love to.
While we do this, can you tell me about and I'll gesture like I'm sure there's actual art around us. Like, how do I interpret it? It is undefinable, and that is a problem from where I am from.
I guess that's kind of the cool part, is that you can kind of interpret it however you want. Like, if you look at something, there are some paintings, I think maybe like if there's like offshoot, like other hallways off to like other ways or something, like the abstract wing or something, like we can look at them later, but there are some paintings and like artwork that don't look like anything except what you want them to look like or what you think they look like, which is pretty cool.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And there are some paintings that are one thing but might mean another thing. And there's some art that just is what it is.
That sounds incredibly complicated.
It's just, how do you describe art? Benny's just kind of like, I think, as someone who is she is a creative and like went to art school, she's like, God, I don't know how to, man. She's like, art is a story. Art is a feeling.
Oh.
And it's an experience, I guess. You just kind of look at it and you feel whatever it feels to you. And then you like it or you don't like it. And then you can look at something else.
Kind of like, and I'll gesture at this wonky willow tree that we've kind of like half drawn, half colored. Kind of like, this makes me feel happy and nostalgic for the willow tree that I am already missing.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I think I understand.
You've gotten your point across, definitely.
And you drew. What did you draw together? You drew the tree.
The willow tree. Happy little trees.
Can you describe anything about the art style? Like, I'm curious if it's like a very precise, like a technical drawing, kind of like very realist approach, how it interacts with your memory, how much representationalism is there.
I like that question a lot because it's kind of like art. Ules isn't allowed to do art per se. Art isn't educational. So their skills are a little toddlerish. It's like an adult drawing with their left hand.
Or me
they've
drawing
really
it all,
been-
yes.
They practice with a lot of crayons lately. So it's a little amateur. But they are very proud of it. And like it's their interpretation of what they've seen. So through their eyes, and their eyes are they're a little bit of a young interpretation,
Cool.
Can Benny color in the lines?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think then it would have like not abstract colors, but like a more pointed like color palette. Because I don't think Benny is like she doesn't like draw necessarily. Like she can do like storyboards and stuff, but like that's pretty representational. But color is something I think she understands. So the color it probably has like a very like specific palette that wouldn't be photo accurate, but like is like on purpose kind of a thing. And she would color in Ules's lines.
Yeah.
If your
and you're-
values are on point, the color will always work.
that's
Color
great.
and lighting, she knows.
I mean, that's great. And it's like you're coloring in Ules's lines, and across the museum, Vion and Cadrax, you don't even notice as you walk past one of these LCD screens that are in the wall, and you see this picture of this willow tree kind of just flash and stay up there as you sort of walk by, headed towards the atrium. And you walk towards it, and as you turn in towards this hallway, you can immediately start hearing kind of like notes playing very kind of quickly. And as you walk closer, the notes are this kind of striking fast tones. It's not quite a piano. You can't quite, get your head around it. And you get to the atrium, and there in the atrium, there's like a little, coffee stand, and next to the coffee stand, there's like, they got a little musician guy there, and he's playing the vibraphone, and he's kind of, beating on the vibes with mallets, playing a sort of soft little kind of jazzy tune, a little, Lionel Hampton-ish or something like that.
So what is the purpose of this location? And clearly whenever the jazz intensifies, it's like kind of like noise seems to be Cadrax's reaction. Like, sorry, I'm trying to focus on you, but like there's this thing in my ear.
And it echoes around the atrium, is sort of like giving it this huge booming natural reverb. So the vibes are kind of, he's playing softly, but they're very loud in there.
Yep. Soft yarn mallet. I completely hear it. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, the thing for me about music is that it's something that you can all share without having to like necessarily like do one thing. You're not like creating a physical thing. You're not destroying a physical thing. It's kind of just a shared experience that we all get to have.
It's true. It's sound. It's a mechanical wave. It neither creates nor destroys, but only moves.
Just something kind of cool about that. I also just like jazz because, I mean, to me, it sounds like perfect imperfection. There's no real other way for me to put it, but that's what I really kind of dig about it. And this musician's doing a great job.
I've heard the word. What is jazz?
Jazz music? Jazz
Yes.
music is, I mean, this is American legacy music. It's, folks who kind of grew up from all different kinds of backgrounds who decided to take the instruments that they had and create like a completely unique sound that spoke to them and expressed themselves. And we still play those pieces today.
I see.
It's kind of like this, I don't know, the thing for me about jazz, and I know there's like a lot of classical stuff and it's very high and mighty, and I can talk about Bach for 5 minutes and then I'm probably drained of all my information. What I like about jazz though is half the time I don't know the musician who originally wrote the piece or whatever, but they're still there. It's this weird sense of, I don't know, like immortality or something they wanted to express. They put into a piece of music and you just hear it and you get it, but it's not the words. It's just in the back of your head. You just understand what they were trying to get you to feel. And it's this connection with someone you've never met who's probably not even around anymore.
I'd like to make an intellect roll very quickly.
Sure. What are you trying to figure out?
I know I need an intellect roll to handle jazz theory on any level. Like common practice period harmony would be difficult enough and make enough sense, but jazz as a harmonic structure to even comprehend is like fairly far out there because it's a lot about harmonic substitution. Like trying to understand the grammar of jazz is significantly more challenging.
Okay, then especially like as a Charles Mingus fan, I am going to agree with that and set this as a difficulty level of 4, saying that it takes an above average human to really lock it.
Absolutely true. As a classical musician who's not great at jazz. Yes, absolutely true. All right, die. Let's go. Oh, hey, five on the die. It wants me to know things about jazz a little bit, so that's an 11.
5 on the die. Okay, that's an 11. So that is.
I do not understand tritone substitution.
Okay, so that's a major success. And as you sit there, and it's like with the booming reverb rolling around in there, and you sort of, you kind of let go for a second, just stop looking for the order in it, and after a while, the notes just kind of start making you feel a certain way, and it's, he's just some guy who stands next to a coffee shop in the museum and plays the vibe. It's like you're not seeing one of the world's greats on stage at Carnegie Hall right now, but still there is something in the jazz that sort of entrances you a little bit.
Cadrax gets in very closer to Vion than they usually do, a person of great personal space. This jazz makes sense. No. It has a language. It's communicative.
Yeah.
They were doing this the whole time?
Musicians?
Yeah, the noise.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the sort of the point of it. It's kind of like a unifying communication.
I'd like to try to roll in with it.
Right.
You want to
so just because this is it's a literal vibraphone.
Right. Oh, you want to? Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get what you meant. What are you? Just so I know, what are you trying to do? Essentially, just to add to the music, or are you trying to actually
Yeah, because I rolled so that I could understand the harmonic structure.
Okay.
So that the notes would make sense in context.
I mean, honestly, it's okay. Let's just set the same difficulty, because just because you understand jazz doesn't necessarily mean that you can do it.
You can commit jazz. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
But for this, I would like to spend determination.
Yeah. What quality are you invoking? Let's see, what do you got here? All work, no play. A pile of my earth, not from around here.
It's not from around here, because it's an attempt at communication. Honestly,
Okay.
Today's all about attempts at communication with humans.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
no.
I like that.
Earthians. That's what you're called, right?
Solthrians.
Yeah, solars sometimes, sure. All right. Cool. So that's, let's see, 2 from the determination plus 1 for power plus is 9 plus die. Cool. Come on.
What?
Oh, only a 2 on the die. So 11.
Okay, so that is a major success. You start manipulating the harmonic resonances in the air, and well, do you want to describe what you do actually?
Yeah. So at first, what is perceptible is that some notes seem to be lingering longer, as if the bar was continuing to vibrate. And it's noticeable, if only because it doesn't create an immediate sonic clash, as you would expect. It only happens in beats that continue that note's harmony, that fit into the groove. And then it's a little more as if the musician were doing double mallet percussion. It is very common to have 2 mallets in each hand and to play accordingly. But in this moment, the musician only has one set. There are notes that if you follow closely enough, you could see he simply was not hitting.
And
And
you look over at the guy playing, and like he, starts kind of looking around, like all confused about, where this extra sound is coming from. But it's jamming, so he kind of doesn't stop. As it's just, it's just this kind of beautiful like jam section of, he's laying down like this kind of like bass, kind of rhythm, and you are now just adding all these little fluttering notes all over the place, and like other people in the atrium drinking their coffee are turning around and starting to take notice of how much better the music has suddenly gotten.
Are you doing this, Doc?
And then it goes almost immediately back to the single musician. As their focus crack into it. They can do one or the other. I was attempting to speak.
You were jamming out. That was great.
Is that how jazz?
Yeah, that's how jazz. You completely got it. It's communication, but the more you talk, the more intricate it gets. It's not like a one then other. It's like something you can stack and it participates. That was great. You just picked that up. I'm very impressed and very happy for you. I will be honest. I am very jealous that you're able to just do that.
Have you introduced many people to Earth before?
No. I'll be completely honest. It was first Ules, then you. To my knowledge, that's pretty much it. Even the other folks that I hang out with that are sort of a little bit outside of the traditional human definition have been here before. So
You're really very good at it. And I look down at the dog.
And the dog just sort of sleeping at your feet.
well, you're very good at getting to know it, Doc.
It's not such a bad planet.
Thank you. We're trying,
And on that, the song comes to an end, and the vibe player goes, like stops, and all the people in the atrium just start applauding like crazy. And the vibe player goes, "Thank you. I will be here all week."
I would like to really quick just like nudge the Doc, which I don't think we've ever physically interacted before. Am I right in saying that?
Only immediately prior to the extraordinary painful experience of being ghosted.
That's right. Okay, so outside of combat, I don't think we've ever physically interacted before.
Oh, I think that's very correct, yes.
I would like to nudge you and just say, they're applauding for you too, by the way.
What is that supposed to convey?
Okay, yeah. Now this is actually, I will admit, this is silly.
And then I think Vion teaches me about this terrible noise on purpose that we do, that I've been wondering about for so long. Why do people do this?
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And I'll say, from there, y'all meet back up at the information desk and, spend some time touring the museum and looking at great works of art. And, Ules, you get a chance to decide what you think of them. And Cadrax, you get a chance to sort of hear the different musics playing around the museum in each wing and section. And you're suddenly notice music every time you walk into a room and it's playing. It's suddenly there for you. And is there anything else y'all want to do?
Other than admire all of the plants in the paintings, I think this has been a very productive visit, exploration.
Tiny adventure.
And we'll say by the time you get out of the museum, it is turning dark out. And what time is it? 6:25. Okay. And you walk out of the museum, and as you are coming out, you're getting ready to head back to, I guess, the van, or how did you get here? Van, subway? What did you do?
I mean, honestly, we probably took a subway.
Yeah.
Probably subway.
Parking around here, not great.
You know what that means, though? We had to follow the New York subway rule for dogs.
Dog in a bag. That's why I have a bag.
You can have any dog as long as it fits in a bag.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like
I mean,
I was like,
this whole
Kia
thing
bag.
has happened while Cadrax has, probably in like a utility pack or something, a folded up like IKEA bag.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Love it.
Yep.
And as you are trying to get the dog back into the IKEA bag, Vion, your cell phone starts vibrating. Unknown number.
Yeah, hello?
Is this Vigor?
Yeah, who am I speaking to?
It's Haber.
Curtis, you called. I'm very glad that you gave me your ring. How you doing? And I would like to just kind of like pocket and look and just be like, it's Curtis Haber.
I'm not doing so great exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, last couple of weeks as a fugitive has not really been that great on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think I want to surrender to you.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to send you the address of my office. Why don't we meet there and talk about it? Real quick, Curtis. This ain't a trick, right?
No tricks.
Okay.
I don't know quite if I want to be inside an office right now. Why don't we say, you know where Doran Park is?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll say, yeah, Doran Park is in Yard Hill, kind of, a few blocks from your office. We'll say it's a small, like kind of one of these 1-block parks that's just got like, kind of a couple of benches in it and maybe a statue or something in the middle, like that kind of like, and he says, all right, let's say 2 hours, Doran Park. You could bring your friends, but no cops. I see one cop. I'm out of there. And don't forget, I can still shake buildings.
Well, you won't be shaking no buildings. Don't worry about it. We're not bringing any cops. We got a dog. Is that all right?
Yeah, I'm a dog man.
Yeah, that's what I figured. But I just thought I'd be polite and ask. Great, Doran Park, 2 hours. We'll see you there, Curtis.
See you there, and we'll see you after the break in 10 minutes. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, as you have probably seen in the chat, we are having a little bit of a technical problem. Unfortunately, Sam has lost signal right now, but we are going to try and get Sam back in through audio until if we can get picture back. Do we have that yet, or is that rolling?
The audio?
The audio.
I have sent Sam the phone number for them to call in. If they want to log in, they can.
Gotcha. So I'm going to make sure Sam knows that. But meanwhile, meet the lovely cast. Omar Najam. Why don't you dazzle the audience with your wit and charm while I text Sam?
Okay.
I mean, so hear me out. I'm happy to keep RPing. I can never not ask y'all human questions about Earth. Like, if we just want to like vamp about Earth for a little
Yeah.
bit.
We answer less questions.
Let's assume you're on the subway starting to head back to Baronsdale, and even though the Curtis Saber thing is hanging over your head right now, you take an extended moment to answer some questions for Ules.
Vion,
Mhm.
something was brought up many episodes, many weeks ago, and it was the idea that you execute your humans.
Yes.
What do you do with their bodies when they have been forcibly removed?
That's actually a very good question, Ules. I don't, I don't specifically know. I've only got assumptions. I haven't really looked a whole lot into it, but I'm starting to think that maybe I should, just to become a little bit more educated on the subject. But I would imagine that it's sort of after like an investigation to make sure that the execution, which I personally don't believe in, occurred legally, I guess, or up to a legal standard. I suppose the body's usually either buried or processed through whatever ceremony the person had wished. That's my assumption. I could be completely wrong, because it's, in general, the whole thing's really not up to snuff for me. So,
Do you bury your humans to let them fertilize your Earth?
that's actually a good question.
Benny, do you know?
I mean, we should, but that's not why.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like metaphorically in a way. Like a lot of cultures might do that. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Kind of like you
Return to
come
the
from the
earth.
earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way we kind of do it is not really super conducive to that process in terms of a lot of the sort of funerals I've attended, where it's, you've got like a casket and stuff like that.
Also, not every culture buries.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess I ask this primarily because you have so many humans on this planet, and then you all just go into your Earth? Is Earth made of human bodies?
Well, Ules, when you put it that way, kind of does feel like it a little bit. But there are, different different approaches to sort of, post-death ceremonies, or ceremonies around death. Sometimes, we cremate people and we spread their ashes or preserve them. Sometimes we even build giant structures, like pyramids and such.
From their bodies?
No, sorry, that's from like stone.
Oh. That one confuses me the most. But
Yeah, that makes yeah. It's I think a lot of it comes from sort of, I'm just thinking of it. Feel free to kick this right back, Benny, if I'm completely off the mark. I think we kind of struggle with the thought of passing away and not being here, in the sort of realm that we are most familiar with. I have a little bit of a complicated relationship with that, but I think a lot of it does come from that, where it's, obviously you would just want to be part of that cycle, but at the same time, the idea of kind of losing everything you've built up over your life is a little daunting. So,
this is incredible, and I have to rewatch all this eventually. I could get this. I'm trying to listen to this out of one ear, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Meanwhile, another thing that's amazing is apparently we've unlocked the lore drop. Thank you so much, everybody. Wow, first one of the season. We are still struggling with trying to get Sam's audio piped in. At some point we're going to have to roll ahead. But if you could just keep doing what you're doing for just a couple of more minutes. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with us.
Okay. Well, and like I like to picture that Ules is like short enough that on the subway they can kick their feet.
Kick their feet. Yeah,
Mhm.
good.
And they will extend one of their legs and kind of gesture at like their booted foot. I do not understand why you don't recycle your bodies. I am made of recycled parts that have belonged to my people for centuries. We upgrade, we maintain, but I am all of my people and I am me.
Ah, that's really beautiful.
Oh, that's fact.
Oh, and also factual. Yeah, Benny, I don't know. I mean, we don't really.
I mean, it
God.
might come back to the same thing of like, we have a problem with loss generally. We don't like to lose things or people that mean a lot to us. And so putting them back in the earth makes them into something else. And maybe that's why. Maybe that's part of why.
Okay.
But keep in mind, Ules, like there are definitely some cultures that do see it that way, and will do like air funerals and air burials and stuff like that. So.
Oh, wow. I should look into that. There's a lot of your society and your culture that I don't understand because I cannot rationalize it.
I mean, same.
Yeah. If we're the primary source on us, you're already starting with a bit of a challenge. So
Sometimes we just do stuff because it's just been done that way for so long that that's just how we do it, even if it doesn't make sense. I guess.
and sometimes we think we've been doing something for a long time, but we haven't. But we
new.
think we have. So we're
Yeah.
just like, that's how we've always done
But you have records to prove otherwise?
it. Yeah.
It's the thing that just because everybody does it, you just think that's normal. And it is normal now, but it might not always been normal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that I can understand for sure. Well, excuse the intrusive question, but when you die, will you be recycled? Do you have the option?
I'm sure we could. Yeah, I think there's those little pods that you put you under a tree, and you grow a tree.
Yeah, that's right.
A
You can
human-sized
also
pod in under a tree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you sort of like contribute to the tree, and then people can visit the tree, and in a way, it's like they're visiting you.
And that's how we would be recycled, I guess.
Yeah.
I love that a lot. I'm going to think about dead bodies and trees.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what me specifically will happen because I don't know what I'm all made of.
Right.
And you're already kind of, I don't know what your situation is, but we might be outliers.
Yeah. Yeah, we might have sort of a unique,
Yeah.
POV on this.
Okay, so Vion, not everybody is as powerful nor as transparent as you can be.
That's a really great question, Les. That's something I might have to look into because, I mean, the sort of my situation's a bit more specific in the same way that, technically, I guess anyone could catch on fire, but very few people can sort of control it. Very few being only Benny.
As far as
to
I'm
my
aware.
knowledge.
I knew
Yeah.
people were very flammable, but I hadn't discerned that not everybody could survive. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's probably good to know. We're
Yeah.
flammable.
That's why I like to not be on fire around other people because they are less likely to be okay afterwards.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
Ules, and that's something I think, I'm definitely going to think about this because you're starting to make me realize I have seen other ghosts, but it's been different. I've never met sort of anyone like me except for, one other entity, and that's a whole nother thing. But with for you, when you're recycled, do you retain any, I guess, memory of the experiences that your parts have gone through?
That is optional, but I choose to. I did not want that.
Oh, so you can consciously decide that.
We are asked at many points in our life if we would like to feel the memories of our parts. It's a historical thing, and I have attempted it once at a ceremony, but I did not enjoy it.
Ooh. Wow, heck. So hold on. So after you, and I don't mean for this to be morbid, but I guess, we're kind of a little bit past that. Is there a chance that someone, if they inherit, if that's the right word, for example, your boot, that they might remember us?
Correct. It is a part of our species. It is a necessity.
Whoa. That's kind of...
So, Sam is working on getting back in. I am so sorry about this, but only so much we can do. So for now, I'm going to start things up a little bit, and I'm going to keep them moving super slow. So hopefully, Sam does not miss, anything really important. And I'm going to say that you arrive back in Baronsdale, and why don't we say you head up to Vion's? Your meeting was in 2 hours. It probably took you, 45 minutes or so to get back. You got an hour and 15 minutes until your meeting, and the meeting is just a couple of blocks from Vion's office at Doran Park. So let's say, you return and you pass Sandy, who is standing out front, just kind of, watching the street from the stoop. And he sees you kind of coming in a rush, and he's just sort of like, hey, what's up? Where's everybody headed?
Just dropping off our stuff real quick, and then got like a meeting in a little bit.
You gonna, be moving that van anytime soon? It's been parked out front, and I don't know what that thing sticking out of the back is, but it's like, I think it's probably illegal to keep a refrigerator in a van like that. I don't know. I mean, the city's got a lot of weird ordinances, but if I was you, I might lock it up somewhere. If you want, I can maybe take care of that for you. You got a lot of time during the days.
Will you treat it kindly?
Sure. It's still making that beeping noise, right?
I have investigated, but I have not been able to determine it.
Huh.
Beeping is good, though. Beeping is activity.
Beeping is activity. Okay.
Sandy, do you own the warehouses, or am I misremembering that? Or did he just have or not a warehouse, storage units?
Oh, he owns it, yeah.
What's your availability over there?
Oh, what you mean for the refrigerator?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for y'all, I could probably make some room free of charge. I mean, after all, you did save my life just a couple of weeks ago.
Ules, that could give you some space to work on it, not in the street.
I would like that. A lot of people have asked me what I am doing and what is wrong with me, but there is nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong with you.
Hey, you got the keys? I'll move the van for you. I'll take it over to the storage facility, and I can maybe, get the forklift to unload that thing. I don't know. It looks heavy.
It is.
Yeah, that'd be great, Sandy. Thank you so much.
Sure. He takes the keys, and, he sort of walks down to the van, and opens the door, and he gets in, and he sort of starts it up, and, it sort of like backs up, and it kind of taps the car behind him. It goes forward, it taps the one in front of him, and he makes like sort of one of these 95 point, parallel pull out, and he
Me
eventually.
and the truck I drove in high school.
Yeah. I mean, it's city parking. It's just always like that. You got a spot, and then in the night, it's like somebody pulls up to each one of your bumpers, and then you see him take the van, and he heads down the road, taking the van off to carpet storage, where all this began. Gotcha. Gotta get used to the new mic. So yeah, you head on inside, and we'll say you go up to Vion's apartment, and you've got an hour left until your meeting.
Have we decided to leave Cadrax behind so they refrain from violence?
We're gonna say Cadrax is still with you and just
Okay.
kind of hanging silently for now. We'll deal with that.
All right.
Does anyone need anything before we head out? Some refreshments, Benny, specifically, I guess.
Yeah, the only person who freaking eats in this house. Yeah, maybe we'll grab. I mean, we've been out all day. She'd probably grab something to eat. Is there anything we need to do? Do we trust that this is a normal meeting and that he's actually going to? I feel like I should speak it for Cadrax a little bit. Be like, what do we need to prepare from a tactical standpoint before we go to this meeting?
Yeah, if it is a normal meeting with Curtis, it's going to be a dangerous meeting with Curtis.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess maybe a plan of attack. Maybe we can sort of load up on some. His only rule was no cops.
Yeah.
So, we've got the armor. Maybe someone could, toss
I think
that
that's
on.
I'm
built-
already wearing that.
Yeah, it's built into Ules now.
Yeah, you got that. We got 2 smoke bombs left, I think.
Yes.
In case we sort of need that.
May I have one?
Yeah. Here you
Thank
go. Benny, you want the other one?
I mean, I would say I can make a lot of smoke on my own, so
Okay.
maybe
That's a good point.
yeah. I can always improvise that. Maybe one of you guys take the other one.
Let's see. We're in my apartment. We have an hour. Is that right, Rick?
Yeah, you got about an hour.
Okay. How far is Sandy's warehouse? What's the travel time for that?
Sandy's warehouse is just a few minutes away. It's actually also in Yard Hill. I think. Carpet storage is in Yard Hill, so it's a few minutes.
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna pitch something real quick. I don't expect to get into an altercation with Curtis. He seems pretty intent on. But you know what? Actually, Benny, good point. I expect to get into a confrontation with Curtis. And with that in mind, maybe we could try something over by Sandy's warehouse. The Doc and I paired up, and we sort of combined our powers a little bit. Doc was kind of just throwing punches, and we were both phasing through walls and stuff. Do we want to try a power combo thing just to see what happens?
That's actually really cool.
Try not to break anything, but I just was wondering, Benny, what would happen if you used ghost fire, for example?
I
Yeah.
would like to witness this.
And then Ules, we can see if we combined where we were this light that was spooking out everybody, but
That was so cool. Sorry, it's Caitlin reacting. That was one of my favorite things ever. It was so cool.
so what if you do a light blast, but you're a ghost? So
Oh.
maybe this is the time to quickly try that out before having to find out in the field.
I think that is very rational.
Oh,
I
I
would
love
like
it.
to see ghost fire.
All right, is Sandy still moving out of the spot?
I mean, we could find a place that isn't a place of business, if there's an abandoned warehouse and not an active storage unit.
Yeah, that's a
maybe.
good point.
Wait, sorry, where are we located? For how close are we to the warehouse district? I forget where we are on.
I
It's
was
been a while
a couple
since
minutes
I've
away
been
from.
Yeah, in fact, Jake, do we have the Baronsdale map? We can throw that up. I think. Jake, any thoughts?
You're good.
We're good. Okay.
Wow, that was the coolest solution voice I've ever heard in my life.
You're good.
Felt very
You're good.
affirmed.
Okay, so we're going to say Cadrax sort of says that they are nervous that their presence might agitate Curtis since they messed up his whole former plan, and he was particularly angry at them last time that he saw them. And they think if they show up, the situation is likely to escalate. And if Curtis still has Cadrax's powers, they definitely don't want to escalate the situation in a public place. So Cadrax is going to hang back at the apartment whenever you decide to go. So let's just pick up where you were at. And if Sam can make it back in, Cadrax will sort of show up like
Yes.
Solo or something.
Change their mind.
All right, so yeah, as you can see on the map there, y'all right now are at Vion's apartment in Fort Tremble, and Sandy's place is in Yard Hill right there, and Yard Hill is also where Vion's office is. Okay, so all right, my attention was a little divided there. What are we doing exactly right now?
We want to,
Abandoned warehouse?
yes.
Abandoned warehouse. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Why don't we say, why don't you head back to the Keyline Aeronautics Factory in Factory Park
Okay.
there. It's a little bit out of your way, but we'll say that you caught Sandy before he got away with the van, and
He drops us off.
yeah, he drops you off there. And now, yeah, it's like it was this big empty kind of factory that had like now broken walls with holes in them, thanks to y'all. And the inside was sort of dilapidated, and it had kind of grating on the floor, I think, and it was it had like a catwalk. But otherwise, old, dusty, condemned factory. The three of you walk in.
All right, who wants to try first?
I'm afraid I would like to watch instead.
Okay, so not
Yes,
Ules.
that's us.
Okay. I'll put a hand on your shoulder, Benny,
Okay.
and then we'll both ghost, and then you can try whatever you want to try.
All right.
Okay.
Oh,
and
boy.
I'm also going to do this really quickly just to see if this is, since we're having a little bit of fun anyway. All right, I ghost. Right.
Wow.
That's for that. Season 2, high production value. Let's go.
That's the
Hi.
budget by
Not
learning what
know-
opacity does.
I did not know he was going to do that, Omar.
That's amazing.
Above and beyond.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so you are going to ghost while touching Benny's like shoulder. So, oh my god! Oh my god!
Jerks, I love them.
This is the best. Okay, and now Benny, what are you going to do?
Okay, so the attempt would be aura but localized hands. But first I need to roll to see if it works, because
Okay.
that's still something that I have to do. Oh, we're good. Okay. So she takes a second, and I don't think she's been on fire in a while. She's been on kind of a run of like, yeah, I'm on fire a lot more than usual. And then it was like a couple weeks of like nothing but contemplating burning things that made her angry and not actually doing it. So she's kind of like oh boy. She's like, this might take a couple tries, and kind of does the wind up and flicks in both of her hands start on fire. Maybe. I don't know. Do they?
Let's see. When you are in ghosted form, I will say, the fire appears on your hands, but like you, the fire is, ghosted essentially, translucent a little.
Okay, so I don't know what this means, but something's happening.
Wow. All right. Ghost fire. That's cool.
Um,
Do you want to try like seeing if it sets something on fire? Because if it doesn't, that would be interesting.
yeah, I guess. So I'm gonna try to combine two of my powers. I've never done this before, but she's gonna kind of put one hand to the ground, and I want to try to use control fire to make
Okay.
it like crawl off of her hand, like
Ooh.
to extend it and see if it catches on
okay.
anything.
Sure. Let's see. Make a power roll against. We'll consider that an act of control. So just against your control power. Let me know what you get.
Okay, so my control. Oh boys, what did we start at? Level 2, 3, 2?
2.
2. Okay. So what is that? Then I just add that to it.
Yeah. That's just
5.
And you remember you got to roll a burnout die
Afterwards,
right?
if I can do it again. Yeah. So if I try to do, like, I think it's after that. After like I use it, I can use it, and then after I've used it, I roll to see if I'll be able to do it again.
Oh, okay.
For the page, yeah.
So what did you get?
5. 3 plus 2.
3 plus 2. The fire will not, leave your hand.
Oh. And I'll just like put it on something. I'll just smack something with it.
What do you whack?
There was a chair in here before where Sandy was tied up, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. If it was like a wooden chair, I'll try to like grab the back of it, see if it catches.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if he was tied up to a chair, but let's just say that there was one there. And your hand and the fire pass right through it.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
I haven't done the ghost thing before. Forgot about that. Okay, so this just kind of chills. Do you have anything on your person that, like a tissue or like something that was ghosted with you that we can see if can burn as ghost?
Yeah, sure. I'll pull out my wallet. And I've got like receipts and stuff in there.
Oh, okay. A ghost receipt?
Like we're gonna ghost receipt. Like this one's just for like like this one's for a cortado, so it's not like I usually write these off. It's kind of thing,
yeah.
I'm not worried about this one. It's $4.
So kind of set her hand like off to the side, but like back so that he could put something in her hand that is ghosted. See if it catches on ghost fire.
Okay, and I'm going to say the second, since it's just paper, right? Just receipts is what you said. The second it connects with the ghost fire, the ghosted paper burns, just as you get like regular paper.
Follow-up question, Rick.
Yeah.
We're just making Rick run through fantasy and sci-fi like logic. This is like a speed run of world building.
I have meticulously planned out how all this works in advance, of course.
Do the flames hurt me, the holder of the now burning receipt?
Yes, you feel the burn. Like, let's say how are you holding the receipt?
Like with let's see here.
Like you're like dangling it over like
dangling it over the flame. Yeah, it's like as if you were holding a match and kind of like it burned up, and like hit, singed your fingers. You feel like just like the quick burn of heat. It's like and you're just like
That's interesting.
So ghost fire affects ghost things?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I guess that's one way to cool me down, but then that would put you in danger, so I don't.
Yeah.
Worried.
Well, that's good to know, because that would have been a great shortcut, but it looks like that would bring pain to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of like an emergency only situation.
I mean, I can kind of like move it now a little bit. Maybe if I couldn't turn it off, if I could move it off of like my forearm or something, you grab me and ghost me, and then I'm not hurting anybody anymore. But I don't. That's a lot of layers and speculation that everything will work the way it's supposed to, because it doesn't always do that.
But also, let's say if Curtis gets like ghost powers again, or someone does, and they're running around being a ghost. Well,
I can get him.
Yep, that's a great way to push them back into corporeal form. That's good to know.
Ooh, okay.
Or burn the ghost self.
That's yeah.
Can you light other ghosts on fire?
Apparently, if I've burned,
I think so.
Vion.
Yeah. Which really, yeah, I guess we'll have to think about that one. That's I don't know if it's like damage or the sensation or.
If you have something with you, if you had another receipt and you dropped it, does it unghost, or is it still a ghost until you have unghosted?
I believe it's a ghost I believe it unghosts the second I drop it, and I can test it. I can pull out another one.
Yeah. Okay. So start.
And I drop it.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's say the second it leaves your hand, it solidifies.
Okay. So what if you light it on fire first?
Okay. All right.
You roll it up so that, I don't know, make it stiffer so it doesn't go out
Here we
immediately.
go. I hold it out, and then I drop it instantly the second it goes on fire.
And the fire kind of becomes real fire as the paper solidifies and, burns to the floor and flutters away in ash.
That's really cool.
Okay.
I don't know what we can use that for, but we can do something with it, that's for sure.
That's pretty great. I mean, I'm thinking like we could like jump through levels and then quickly unghost and then suddenly whatever's on fire and then go back to go. I don't know.
Now the trip to Factory Park by car probably took you about like 15 minutes.
Oh shit!
It'll take you about 15 minutes to get back. Let's say you got like another 10 or 15 minutes here before you probably got to go and then you're cutting it close. Anything else you want to try before this? Are you still ghosted, Benny?
I unghost. So
okay.
Oh my God, that is the greatest thing ever! Omar, you're getting a cookie, man. That was great. So yeah, anything else you want to try while you're here?
Ules, do you want to try anything, or if you're uncomfortable, you don't have to do it.
Well, I do not think we'll really benefit with our powers combined. There's no power boost.
Yeah, I don't know what it. Yeah, because you blast out a beam of light.
Mm-hmm. It is long range.
But it doesn't really separate from you, does it?
Nope. It comes from my hand. I'm not entirely sure why. It really should be. It can drain the energy from others, and I can absorb that myself, as well as energies I have absorbed, I can heal you human folk with as well. Or plants. I mean, I haven't really had much luck with plants, but I am still trying.
Okay, so I guess the two things on the table is one, if we have to blast a ghost or someone who's incorporeal, we should be able to do that because it's a connected beam of light to you. So it's not going to, undetach like the receipt.
Oh.
But also, I wonder, can you drain the ghost force of a ghost?
I would love to try. May I? It might hurt.
Yeah. That one we might have to just hold on to try in the field.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really want to.
I mean, maybe on a day in which we don't have a meeting with a known criminal, I mean, I can take a hit.
Oh, I see.
You ghost both of us, and then they try to hit.
Yeah,
yeah.
For science? Yes.
For science, yeah. I'll take a hit for science.
Okay, so we'll do that on a slow day.
Okay.
Okay, that will be interesting.
Okay, I'm still trying to brain around light and fire. I feel like there's something there.
Yeah.
Maybe when we have Cadrax, we can pose that to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I can heal you if you are injured. And you've somehow never truly been injured. I think that one time a little bit. But...
A little bit once, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I know, I wanted to find something here. I don't know. Light can also make heat.
Oh.
Can you make a fire that then Benny can manipulate?
Because sometimes my fire doesn't. That's a question for the DM. I don't know if I have control over. I have fire control.
Yeah.
Can I make fire? Can I start something on fire with my brain that isn't me? Because I believe that's a limit, is you can't create your own.
It is a limit to that power, sort of like what's the name, Pyro from X-Men. It's like you can control the fire but not create it. But as a separate power, you also have your aura. And it's like I sort of feel like just turning your aura on is, I don't make you roll for that essentially, because if you're not actually
I do have to because of my limit.
Yeah, you have to roll your limit, but I think you can always turn it on. The question is just you can always try that. It's just if the die stops you. So it's like if you can start your own fire, like if you can turn your aura on, I would say yes, you can kind of always create fire from the direction of your own body. You can't point at an object and start that object bursting in flames. You'd have to essentially control your own flame. But if your limit stops you, then you would be limited to whatever fire's in the room.
So if Ules started something across the building on fire, if their light was hot enough, then I could take it from there, hypothetically.
Yeah. Ules, to start a fire with your light, you probably need to spend a point of determination and do that as a stunt.
Yeah.
Because it's not exactly what your power does, but it does seem to me as something that reasonably with a little bit of determination, you might be able to pull off once in a while,
Cool.
I like this. We are coming up with a very good team plan.
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued at what ghost sound would look like, but Cadrax is in here.
Well, let's say we will definitely clear some time for some more training and strategy sections, because this has just been utterly delightful. I mean, honestly, forget the superhero action. I think this show should just be all talking about
science.
Art, and, philosophy and all that.
The science and art of superpowers, hosted by Rick.
Yeah, right. Zen and the Art of Superpowers. Yeah, right. It's this is our Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance episode. Where art, science, and philosophy are all just different aspects of the same whole, kind of. So yeah, we'll say that Sandy, who has been waiting for you out in the van, kind of honks, and he's like, "Hey, you said you needed to get to the park, but he takes you, we will say, over to Doran Park, back to Yard Hill, and why don't we say he drops you off 2 blocks away from the park, and then he disappears with the van. It's like, all right, I'm going to go drop off this thing at the storage facility. I'll let you know which locker it's in later. And he zooms off, leaving you by the park, by Doran, about 2 blocks away from Doran Park.
Okay. We'll just head on over. I want to keep an eye just to make sure I see Curtis there.
Okay. You're all approaching from the same direction, staying in a bunch.
Don't word it like that.
I mean,
I just want to be clear of what is going on, not for any particular reason.
I would say we're not Cadrax, so probably that's right.
Yes.
Sorry, Sam.
That's outside, and Vion or Ules will lean in between the two of them, we're very clumped,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Benny's super paranoid, but I think that's manifesting in a way of keeping an eye out, not in the tactical way.
Okay, absolutely perfect. And in fact, let me make some awareness rolls for you all.
Gosh. I have a smoke bomb. It's fine.
It's good. It's great.
Okay, we'll say that you approach Doran Park, let's say, from, the southeast corner. And when you walk up there, it's like I described. It's one of these parks that essentially just occupies, an entire kind of block of its own. It's got a couple of benches around the outside. In the middle of the park, there is a statue of, let's say, Mr. Serrano, who built the hospital that is nearby, and you get a look at him. I will Sam in on this later, assuming that they have already passed this a million times in their life on the way to the hospital. And you see this guy, and I think we said he looks like Andy Garcia. He was our casting there, and that's just right in the middle. It's an old statue. It's been there for a long time. And as you sort of scan around, there are a few people in the park. Let's say, I don't know, 10, 12, something. Not a lot. It's not really packed. A couple of people scattered on benches. It's a city park. There's probably a couple of homeless people sleeping on the benches. There are a couple of kids playing in a sandbox. It's otherwise not really busy. And they're all the way on the other side of the park, sitting on a bench. You see Curtis Haber, and he's kind of sitting forward and kind of looking around. He looks very kind of on edge.
Okay, I say we just walk up.
Oh, yes, I was going to wave at him from here, but...
Oh, yeah, you can also wave, Ules.
Okay, you wave. He did not exactly spot you at first, but as you start walking closer, he sort of takes notice of you, and he stands, and then he sort of like holds up his hand, and he's like, "That's far enough. Just stop right there." When let's say you're about, I don't know, 50 feet away from him or so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Is it going to be hard to hear him at 50 feet? Do I have to call him?
It's kind of quiet out here. I think if you talk loudly, you'll be able to hear each other.
Okay. Hey, Curtis.
Hey, where's the other one?
Keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye out. And he kind of like looks around. Cops? Did you bring cops?
Do you see any?
That's what Cadrax looking out is for. Obviously, no cops.
Did you bring brick?
Brick is in a safe place.
Oh,
Okay.
Good to know.
So, I don't know exactly how this is supposed to work.
You called us here, dude.
Yeah, but how do I turn myself in for starting an earthquake?
We can put you in a warehouse.
Yeah, that's... Here's the thing, Curtis. Do you want to come clean to the law? Or are you just tired of running?
Well, if you know another way out, but right now, I'm spending every minute of every day looking over my shoulder. I gotta sleep with one eye open. Cops are on the rampage after me and have been for days. Ever since that attack, weeks. Ever since I tried to hit Mickey's place.
There's a lot of information that the Port Ruby Police Department, specifically the detective department, might be interested in. And if you wanted us to we've got a point of contact, sort of a fan of mine. And if you want us to try to broker some sort of deal, that's something we could do.
Who is this point of contact?
It's a detective at the police department.
You trust this person?
Well, let's just put it this way. He definitely saw us at Mickey Bombers, and we've just been walking around going to museums. So,
And an arboretum.
Arboretum.
We could take you sometime. They're open 3 days a week.
That is true.
Yeah, I'll think about that. You wouldn't happen to know any lawyers, would you?
I mean, yeah.
Because I could probably use a good one right about now.
Yeah, we know a good lawyer.
Specializes in kind of our whole deal, actually.
Yeah, actually, we might know the perfect lawyer for your situation, come to think of it.
Huh. So we got a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and we got a cop that we trust.
Yep.
All right, I'll tell you what. You go call your lawyer, and you go call your cop. And if they're in, I'm in.
Okay. And just so we have all of our I's dotted, what exactly is the information that you are willing to offer up?
I guess I gotta confess to snapping that guy's neck at Mickey's place.
Yeah. But I think finding out about, Mickey's operation at large is probably worth quite a bit to the department. So
Yeah, I think Vion's asking, what can you give them in return for you not, getting hit with quite so much of a punishment, repercussions?
yeah, a lot of this heat's on you. And to be quite honest, I mean, there is justice and law for the stuff that you did, but also there's a lot of, stuff that I think is the fault of other people. So.
Well, I was pretty low level. I mean, even if I did want to turn informant, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what I could tell you. I know Mickey's got some kind of, I don't know, he's got contacts all over the police, all over the government. I don't know who necessarily these people are, but I don't know. I'm willing to cooperate.
Okay.
That's good. Good to know.
We're going to also take that into consideration. We're going to make sure that anyone that you eventually speak to is, as far as we know, on the up and up and not secretly in Mickey's pocket.
All right. Well, I'll just wait here then.
Okay.
Would you like some snacks?
What do you got?
Benny, what do we have?
And
I took
Benny,
a bunch of things from Beyond's, but I didn't read them.
Benny will sling her. She has like her camera bag backpack up. And there's probably like, I don't know, what would Vion have in his kitchen, like granola bar, or you wouldn't have anything. You don't eat food. You have coffee beans.
Coffee.
Jesus, no. Benny probably has her own shit because she does.
Okay.
I feel like what she's used to currently is like this shit. Like, so I think she goes through and she's probably got like, she's like, I have a couple of like granola bars or like potato chips.
Granola bars and potato chips.
I share an apartment with like 4 people, dude. I don't know what you want from me.
Oh, by the way, Jake, I think we can take down the map now, by the way. Thanks. So, yeah, Curtis sort of looks over. He's like, you know what? I think I'm good. I
can lob it. I've got a good arm if you're freaked out about getting close.
Yeah?
Yeah. Probably
Benny?
not the potato chips. I don't think I could throw those very far, but the granola bar's got some weight.
Make a roll for your granola bar throw. Let's call it
Granola bar.
coordination.
Coordination, goddamn. I feel like I gotta throw hard.
Oh, so you want to
like strength, I gotta throw it really hard. Like
you want to make it straight?
Because
Okay.
you're trying to get it. You're going for distance. I'm not going for like accuracy. Is like
Like
It's a
make a
long
straight
throw.
throw, and Curtis will roll coordination to see if you can.
okay.
So roll his
Roll
coordination.
to throw granola. Oh, okay. 10.
Okay. Well, you pitch it, and it goes like flying, and he kind of like goes to grab it, and it just zooms right past him, and he can't quite get it.
Well, it's over there to him, so he can find it.
I'll handle it. Just go call your lawyer and your detective friend.
Okay.
Please, try and hurry. Get pinched at any second here.
All right, I can call Leon Neal, the
Okay.
detective, and talk to him really quickly.
Sure, you actually had his business card, and we'll say he worked at the 33rd precinct in Baronsdale, and you.
Should we wait? Hold on. Should we talk to Dalen first?
Oh yeah, before 100%. We should talk to
Because
the
like I
lawyer.
feel like that's the trajectory maybe this conversation should happen.
The lawyer should advise us.
Yeah, on
Dalen?
how to handle this.
Oh, you want to call Dalen is the lawyer you're talking? Well, Dalen was like a legal secretary, I think, right?
I thought she was like getting into like law. I thought that was her whole thing, was that she was going into like
she
deal
was
with
going
this
to law
like,
practice.
particular thing. Like,
Yeah. Let's say for now you can't quite reach Dalen.
Okay.
we sent her an email with like vague, like not the particulars, but like, hi, we would like your legal counsel on this particular thing, so that she can read it and get back to us.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's so weird. Wow. It's like, this is great. I thought the lawyer you were going for was Audrey Reeves.
Audrey Reeves, yeah.
Oh shit! Maybe
Yeah.
okay. I had the wrong. Then
No,
maybe
it's
she's
okay.
who we should talk to. I
Yeah,
forgot
dude.
she was a lawyer. I was like, vigilanteism, what she is in my head.
No, but I do. Dalen does also have legal expertise, so it's like, between all of you, how would you like to handle that? Because
Yeah, I misread that.
I mean, if we can't get hold of Dalen, then we would reach out to
Reeves, yeah.
Audrey Reeves.
Okay.
Sorry, that was my bad. I forgot she was a lawyer.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I forgot that Dalen had a legal background, so I was totally prepared for that. But let's. Okay, so you call. You get the answer at Audrey Reeves' office. It's late at night, but she works all the time. And yeah, Reeves.
Hey, how's it going?
Who is this?
Oh, sorry, it's Vion, and I point to Ules.
Oh, it is Ules, and I have a very cool cape now.
So wait, is this a phone call? What is this?
Yes, this is a phone call. We're interested in your services.
Well,
yeah, sorry, yeah, it was, it's a phone call.
Well, I'm a public defender, so unless you committed a crime, you're not really entitled to my services.
Well,
We know somebody.
Someone who committed a crime.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who would that be?
Looks behind us.
I mean, we should. I guess this is. Yeah, we can just say it, right?
Yeah.
Curtis. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Curtis Haber.
Curtis Haber. I know that name. Why do I know that name?
You remember the
Mafia
earthquakes?
affiliations? Ooh,
And
earthquake.
also-
That's a good one too.
Was in custody, mysteriously got out of said custody.
Yeah, went to go steal some money.
Right. I think I saw something about this on the news.
Mm-hmm.
And you got this guy?
I mean, he's just right here. We know him.
Yeah. He's looking to turn himself in,
Yeah, he's tired of running.
and we're trying to not put him back in the pocket of, the mob or whatever.
Yeah, and we have a detective who seems to be, pretty congenial with us.
Who's your detective?
Leon Neal.
I'm going to look into him. Let's say, all right, if this guy's planning on turning himself in, he's going to need representation. So why don't you bring him by my office in an hour? I should be here for a while.
Great. Well, that works out perfectly.
All right, see you soon. And she hangs
Bye.
up.
Did she mention that she was happy I have a cape like hers?
I don't
I think
think.
you can show it to her, and then
Yeah,
she can see it.
it's more. Yeah, you gotta. You hear it. It's one thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, she was my inspiration.
I think she's gonna be happy to hear that. And Ules, if in case she looks like she's not or doesn't quite react, I'm sure it's on the inside.
Ah, okay.
Hey,
What-
Curtis.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And he sort of turns and looks at you.
We got you a meeting.
With who?
A lawyer, public defender.
What about your cop?
She's looking into him for us. Double check. Is that good enough for you?
All right. And he takes a bite of the granola bar, chews on it, and he swallows, and then he throws the rest of it and, tosses it in a garbage can that's nearby. And he's like, and I guess it's time to do this. And he kind of shakes a little bit and starts walking towards you. And he takes a few steps, and then all of a sudden there's a little bit of like a crackle in the air around him, and he stops and he looks. And then like there's just a little bit of like this kind of green kind of crackling like glow, like electricity. And it just sort of like, and then all of a sudden, and there's like this flash. And now standing to either side of him, out of nowhere, appear two people wearing these heavy green robes with these big green hoods pulled over their heads. And Curtis looks around. He's like, what the hell? Who the fuck are you? And then one of them puts their hands on his shoulders, and then in another crackle, and the three of them just vanish right in front of your eyes.
Oh, no.
What the? That happened right in front of our eyes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just said that. Sorry, Rick. That was
No, sorry. Just, yeah. As he 10 feet away as he was walking towards you.
I would like to run over and touch the ground where that just happened. And I would like to try to recall that moment just to understand what we're even looking at.
Okay, that's make a post-cog roll. Okay.
Here we go. Okay, that's a 6.
Total 6?
Yeah, total 6.
You kind of feel around on the ground, but you don't get anything.
Okay, yeah, I don't do this a lot.
Like you can't seem to find a spot to touch, and
Yeah.
that summons anything for you.
We might need to reschedule that meeting.
Yeah.
Interesting form of transportation.
Yeah.
And on that, as the three of you are standing there, having seen Curtis Haber just pulled into midair by those people in robes, we will see you next week. Stick around for the first after credits lore drop of the season. I'm so sorry we weren't able to bring Sam back to you. We will get them briefed on all this stuff. We will get them briefed on all this stuff so that they're up to date. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging with us tonight and for unlocking the lore drop. Well, Power Play season 2, episode 1, a little rocky, but on the board. Tech problems happen. So why don't we go around the table and we'll let the good people know where to find you, starting with Omar.
Hi, I'm Omar. You can find me at Omar Najam. That's it. Sorry, I'm a PA, so like I don't do a lot of projects anymore.
Omar doesn't do a lot of stuff, but he's very funny on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. You can find me on Twitter at KKAMABR. Otherwise, if you like me in this tabletop RPG stuff, you can find me on Wednesdays at twitch.tv/Rule of Lore for our Cypher system in our homebrew setting called Infinite Horizon. It's very fun. I play a little glow bug. She's an alien. It's great. I had a lot of stuff happening last week, but that all happened. You know what? I'm gonna go to my Twitch channel if you're bored and have need something on the background for 3 hours. I did a charity stream where my sisters cut all of my hair off, and it's so funny. It's very funny. So that's the VOD's available on my Twitch channel. It's KAMABR, only 1K, but it's check that out if you're bored and need a laugh. My sisters cracked me up. That's all I have back on.
It was great. And the hair just came out fantastic.
Yeah, the beautiful art and my lovely bald spot from my sister's attempts at it's fun. It's a good time. I have a bowl cut, I have a rat tail, it's a lot happens.
And Bijola.
Yeah, what's up? My name is B. You can find me on Twitter. It's at B_Zelda. Add an extra underscore if you want to follow me on Instagram. I'm a podcaster. I'm a member of the Broadswords, all women non-binary actual play podcast that releases episodes every other Monday. On Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, you can catch me on the official Roll20 channel streaming Indie Showcase, where we play indie games for funsies. And if you also want to watch something that's already aired, that should be up on the Roll20 YouTube that has Caitlin, we did Thirsty Sword Lesbians, and it was very, very thirsty. Other than that, Sundays, right before this show, I stream on the Kobold Press channel some classic D&D where I play the most dapper of Minotaurs. And then, as always, find me here with these fabulous humans.
And yeah, unfortunately, Sam Dlev is not here to do their own sign off. We love Sam. Follow Sam on Twitter at Tchaikovsky, ChaikovSky, or on Instagram at Dlevly. And they're on 5,000 shows. Clear Skies right here on QueueTimes, which I think is back now or coming back or something soon. And is on, right here on QueueTimes. So check out Sam. And I'm Rick Budd. You can find me on Twitter at rbud913, or you can follow the show at Powerplay RPG on Twitter or Instagram. And I think that is it as far as sign-off stuff. Once again, we will have Sam back for you next week. And with that, the first lore drop of season 2, which I'm so sorry Sam is not around for. Oh, no. But okay, so we are in an auction house somewhere in Avalon. The room is packed with extremely wealthy people, all holding bidding paddles. And the auctioneer steps up to the microphone. Our next item is number 213 in your catalog, the Star of Astrovia. Once the property of the Astrovian royal family, this 34-carat diamond was stolen in a peasant revolt almost 1,000 years ago. After that, it passed through a series of hands, ultimately ending up in the collection of the current owner who prefers to remain anonymous. The diamond is, of course, famous for its teardrop shape and uniquely pink hue. We will open the bidding at $10 million. And immediately, a flurry of paddles go up. 11 million, 12 million. The auctioneer struggles to keep up. The bidding is climbing so fast. And it goes all the way up to $33 million. And that high bid comes from a very powerful looking man in an incredibly expensive suit sitting in the front row. He looks very smugly satisfied when all of the other paddles go down. If I had to cast this guy, I would say he was Scott Bakula. And the auctioneer looks around the room. Do I have any other bids? There is silence. 33 million going once. 33 million going twice. Sold to Mr. Jonathan Fripp. And on that, we'll see you next week.